How do you celebrate Mother's Day when you're unemployed, thousands of kilometers away from your own mom, and raising a bicultural daughter in Shanghai? This is what we did. Hey, I'm Chile. And like any good Colombian, the first thing in the morning is coffee. Not a preference, a biological necessity. First, I make the coffee. Then I boil some eggs and toast some bread. Simple, nothing fancy. Coffee in this house is no longer just mine. My wife never drank it before she met me. Now she has it constantly. I infected her. Honestly, that might be one of my greatest achievements in this marriage. Everything is ready. The flowers, the card, the breakfast. The card was hidden behind the curtain since the night before. The flowers were stashed in the kitchen, and my daughter was my accomplice.
El azul, ¿cuál azul?
My daughter opens the curtains.
What?
Light floods in.
What?
She knew where everything was from the day before, but she kept the secret perfectly.
La madre, happy Mother's Day!
At 3 years old, keeping secrets better than most adults I know.
Gosh, I didn't expect flowers.
Open the curtains!
And then you help me.
You do it too.
You do.
Open the curtains.
There's the bouquet, the card, the complete surprise. All of it in front of my wife before she could process what she was seeing.
La madre, mamacita.
She picks up the bouquet. Then she reads the card my daughter and I decorated together the day before. At the bottom, written in blue, it says, Mama. At 3 years old, she already knows how to make a moment.
Gosh, really cannot imagine.
In China, the most common phrase for special occasions isn't Happy Mother's Day. It's 节日快乐. It roughly translates to Happy Festival. The same phrase covers birthdays, graduations, and Mother's Day. One phrase for all the moments that matter. Almost every breakfast in this apartment is shared with uninvited guests. Today, a small bird came to eat the breadcrumbs we left on the balcony. In Shanghai, if you have plants or anything on the balcony, birds eventually show up. They're the city's borrowed pets. No contract, no vet bills. They come, they eat, and they leave. The perfect arrangement. After breakfast, the call comes in. My mother-in-law lives in Guangzhou, about 1,200 kilometers from here. My wife calls to wish her a happy Mother's Day. My mother-in-law doesn't speak Mandarin or Cantonese. She speaks a southern Guangzhou dialect from the village where she was born, an accent so thick it's even harder to learn than Cantonese. For context, Cantonese has 6 tones, Mandarin has 4. My mother-in-law's dialect has even more, and very few people outside that village can understand it. My wife is also teaching our daughter Cantonese in this family. Depending on who she's talking to, my daughter switches languages completely. Spanish with me, Cantonese with her mom. The connection is something else entirely. After a while, we decided to go out and find a good place to eat.
Ese sonido, ¿qué es ese sonido? Chiquis, si vamos en la patineta, ¿no? Entonces, ¿cómo vamos? ¿En el triciclo?
Before leaving, I find something in the bicycle basket, a flyer for an at-home massage service. Very common in Shanghai. Back in Colombia, someone leaves a pizza flyer. Here, they leave an express massage offer. Different cities, different priorities. We take the shared bikes. Shanghai has one of the largest bike sharing networks in the world, over 1 million bikes in circulation across the city. No fixed stations, you leave them wherever you want within the designated zones. For a family with a 3-year-old, it's the perfect transport for short distances. Practical, cheap, and no parking hassle. After about 20 minutes of pedaling, we decide to go to a traditional Xinjiang restaurant. The first thing I see is the naan section, naan bread typical of Xinjiang, made by hand right in front of you. The dough is stretched, flattened, stamped with a wooden seal, and baked in a clay oven. The Xinjiang naan is one of the oldest foods in the region. There are over 50 different varieties, and in some villages it's still baked in clay tandoor ovens, just as it has been for centuries. The women in the kitchen wear hijabs because this restaurant is halal. The Uyghur people are predominantly Muslim, which means you won't find pork in their restaurants. The main protein is lamb in the rice, lamb in the bread, called lamb as a starter. And here's something that in Bogota isn't common at all. Lamb isn't an ingredient you see often there. The first time I tried it was outside Colombia. In this cuisine, lamb is absolutely everything.
Ya llegó la mamita.
We ordered the polo, lamb rice with carrots, raisins, and slowly braised meat. Polo, also called yua fan, is one of the oldest dishes in Central Asia. Versions of this dish appear in Uzbek, Persian, and Uyghur cooking going back over 1,000 years. The raisins are the detail that always surprises first-timers. Sweet and salty in the same bite. My daughter goes straight for the rice with her decorated chopsticks, no hesitation. When a 3-year-old doesn't want to stop eating, the food is good. That's the only review that matters. We also order the Mian, thick, hand-pulled noodles in a rich broth. Mian literally means pulled noodles. The technique involves stretching and folding the dough repeatedly until it develops that elastic, chewy texture. A master Mian maker can stretch a single piece of dough into over 1,000 strands in under a minute. We also get tofu roll, very typical of the region, stir-fried with vegetables.
¿Quieres? ¿Quieres? ¿Quieres?
After lunch, we walk to a nearby park, a new Shanghai park that had been closed for over a year, designed as a universe for kids. In the middle of the park, a group of elderly people in traditional Uyghur clothing dance between the trees, embroidered outfits, colorful dopa hats. My daughter stops running and just stands there, watching. The silence of a 3-year-old paying full attention is the loudest kind of attention there is. We find a spot near the futuristic slide. The sun is out. The sky is genuinely blue today. Fun fact: Shanghai gets around 2,000 hours of sunshine per year. But after a stretch of gray days, a blue sky still feels like a gift. My daughter runs to the slide up, down, up again, the same loop at least 30 times. She never gets bored. 3-year-olds don't overthink joy. They just do what makes them happy over and over again. That's something I'm still trying to relearn. We sit for a while. Around us, other families doing exactly the same thing. Parents watching their kids, couples sitting in silence, grandparents in sun hats, nobody doing anything extraordinary. And that's exactly the point. Ordinary Sundays are underrated, especially when you spent a year where everything felt like it was falling apart, your job, your identity, your place in a city that isn't your homeland but has already become your home. A park bench with your family starts to feel like an anchor. Something solid, something worth protecting. After running and playing, my daughter is worn out. Time to head home. That was a full day. Not the kind you post to impress anyone. The kind you remember 10 years later when you're trying to explain to your daughter what life was like when she was 3. When we were figuring things out. When we were poor in some ways and rich in others. Every Sunday we managed to spend together. That was the investment, the one that always pays back. How do you celebrate Mother's Day when you're far from home? Or do you have a tradition from your culture that turns an ordinary day into something special? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.